Okay, so once again, good day everyone. No, I would like to inform everyone that all of our classes for the entire semester will be recorded, and published on YouTube for review purposes. Now, if you have any data privacy concerns, as I mentioned, you have allowed to turn off your camera. However, if you are the assigned presenter, you are required to turn it on during your presentation. For the meantime, we will continue using Zoom until everyone becomes fully familiar with class in. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so as we begin this course on advanced human resource management for public administration, it is important to appreciate that human resource management today is no longer confined to recruitment, payroll, and personnel transaction. Especially in government institution, human resource has evolved into a strategic powerhouse that directly influences organizational performance, policy implementation, and the overall quality of public service delivery. So this course, of course, is designed to help you see human resource or CHR not just as a function, but as a dynamic system that can drive institutional transformation. And one of the key ideas you will encounter throughout our discussion is the shift from traditional human resource practices toward competency-based and analytics-driven HR systems. So the public sector now requires leaders who can identify talents systematically, deploy people effectively, and ensure that every civil servant is aligned with the mission and values of the institution. This means that you, as future leaders, must develop the ability to integrate data, technology, and evidence-based decision-making in your HR strategies. Now, we also confront the complex realities of working within the public sector, realities shaped by civil service regulations, bureaucratic processes, and accountability frameworks. Now, public human resource management is unique because every decision you make has implications not only for your employees, but for the public that you serve. Now, our goal in this course is to help you navigate these constraints while maximizing opportunities for innovation, performance improvement, and people-centered governance. A major theme in this course is the importance of a strategic alignment. Whether we talk about performance management, workforce planning, or succession development, because every HR intervention must support organizational goals, legal mandates, syempre, and societal needs. In the public sector, this requires a deeper understanding of how policies, politics, and public expectation influence HR decisions. You will learn how to position HR as a proactive partner in strategic governance. Another essential focus is digital transformation in human resource. With the rise of digital personnel files, AI-enabled recruitment tools, and HR analytics dashboards. The ability to manage technology has become a core leadership competency. And we will explore how digital HR system enhance efficiency, transparency, and accountability, while also examining issues such as data privacy, cybersecurity, and ethical technology used in government. This course is also grounded in the belief that HR must champion ethics, integrity, and public service values. Because technical skills alone are insufficient if leaders fail to uphold fairness, meritocracy, and trust. Throughout the term, we will analyze real-world cases where ethical lapses, favoritism, or political interference, compromise HR decisions. More importantly, we will discuss tools and frameworks that help leaders maintain ethical clarity in complex situations. So by the end of the semester, You should be able to design HR solutions that respond to modern challenges such as skill shortage, digitalization, workforce diversity, and changing citizen expectation. You will also understand how HR policies affect employee motivation, no, organizational culture, and service quality. And the course prepares you to become an HR strategist, no, one who can lead reforms, strengthen institutions, and contribute to shaping a more responsive and resilient public sector. I want you to approach this course with openness and curiosity. Ano po? Because advanced human resource management is not merely about policies and theories. It's about people. Behind every HR decision is a story, a life, a family, and a future. No? As public administrators, your responsibility is to ensure that these stories are respected and supported. Now, through meaningful discussion, case studies, and applied tasks, you will gain not only knowledge, but the confidence to lead HR transformation in your respective agencies. Now, okay, so I think no need to do this one. What I'm going to do, I will share later an Excel file for me to get your background, no, and your current employment. No, maybe later, right after our class, I will share a Google Sheet, no, for you to fill out, no, the needed information for this slide, no. I don't want to waste our time for so long, no. Introducing one by one, ano po. Okay, so by the way, no, so as we begin the course, this slide serves as a reminder that your self-introduction is not merely a formality, sabi ko nga po, but the first step in building a strong learning community. Ano pa? So, as you can see here, no, this will be my, I am the one who handling your course MPA 206 Advanced Human Resource Management for this semester. So, this will be my undergraduate program. No? I graduated Associate in Cybersecurity and Associate in Computer Science. My undergraduate, I have how many bachelor's degree? No? I think 7 if I'm not mistaken. Then for my master's degree, no, I have 5, 4 actually ongoing with my Juris Doctor, no, right now, no, in second year level, I think, no, and my doctoral degree or doctorate degree. So I have 6 earned doctorate degree, and I have 7 honoris causa doctorate degree. No, so for just for FYI, no, actually. The honoris causa, no, symbolic acknowledgement of our impact, no, rather than degrees earned through coursework, no, because maybe you are not, everybody are not aware, no, with regards to honoris causa, no, but because in the academic world, no, an honorary doctorate is not merely a title, no, it represents a lifetime of contributions, leadership, scholarship, and service to the community or industry. So when you see this list, no, you may understand immediately that your expertise had been recognized at levels beyond formal schooling, no, because doctoral degree or honorary doctorate degree signifies that work has reached a degree of influence where academic institutions themselves affirm your contributions to the field of governance, technology, and innovation in public service. Ano pa? So, doctor of law, no, data science, no, innovation, and so on and so forth. No? Okay, so no need for us to stay long, no, for that slide. This one, no, the course description marks, no, an important moment in the first meeting because it formally frames the intellectual and practical landscape of advanced human resource management and public administration. Okay? In graduate school, especially in World City colleges, now a student must understand not just what the course is about, but why it matters. No? Especially in a government system where HR plays a central role in institutional integrity, service delivery, and workforce capability. And this slide actually introduces the idea that human resource management in the public sector is no longer transactional. It has evolved into a strategic leadership tool that directly influences how agencies serve citizens. Now, one of the strongest elements of the description is it emphasizes on the modern human resource strategies and systems. That's what we have here. It communicates that the course will go beyond traditional processes such as recruitment and payroll. Instead, the students will explore competency-based staffing, digital human resource system, and analytical-driven decision-making. These are areas where many government agencies lag behind. No? So through highlighting these modern elements as at the outset, the slide signals that this course will expose you to future-ready HR practices that can transform public institutions. Another important theme is the focus on public sector governance, because human resource management in government operates under unique realities, civil service rules, merit systems, bureaucracy, ethical restriction, and heightened public scrutiny. Unlike HR in private companies public HR decisions must be transparent, merit-based, and aligned with legal frameworks. The description reinforced that this course is tailored to these complexities, ensuring that you develop a specialized understanding of HR within the environment they serve. So this also mentioned the efficiency, accountability, and citizen-centered service delivery. It highlights the broader societal impact of human resource management. This allow you to see HR not just as an administrative function, but as a mechanism that shapes public trust. When human resource system fail, hiring is politicized, performance goes unchecked, or training is neglected, citizens feel the consequences. Effective HR leadership creates responsive and high-performing agencies. This description invites you to link your learning to real community outcomes. Digital transformation is another cornerstone actually of the course. The slide recognizes the rise of digital human resource management. Employee databases, e-performance system, human resource analytics, dashboard, automated workflows, and cloud system or cloud-based personnel records. Many public agencies still struggle with paper-based system, causing inefficiencies and vulnerability. So through including digitalization in the description, the course positions itself as a bridge between traditional public administration and evolving technological demands. You will learn how to prepare agencies for e-governance readiness and human resource automation. Of course, ethics and public values are also central to the course description. Human resource in the public sector must uphold fairness, impartiality, professionalism, and the rule of law. The course will explore, or the course expose you to ethical case analysis, conflict situations, and the moral responsibility of public managers. It reminds that HR decisions influence careers, family welfare, and organizational culture. Hence, leaders must act with integrity. This is essential preparation for administrators who will shape personal decisions that impact thousands of public servants. Of course, we are in graduate school, so we use the evidence-based decision making. It elevates the academic and professional rigor expected from students. Public administration often grapples with decisions driven by traditions, politics, or intuition. And this course challenges those norms by teaching you how to interpret HR data, evaluate performance indicators, conduct workforce analytics, and design HR intervention grounded in research. It shifts HR practice from guesswork to strategic analysis, strengthening institutional professionalism. A powerful message embedded in this description is the course goal of equipping future public administrator. Maybe mayroon na dito mga public mga administrator with advanced capabilities, no? Graduate students comes from different agencies and leadership levels, and many aspire to higher managerial roles, no? Kaya po tayo nagma-master's degree, no? And this course description reassures them or you that the subject is not merely theoretical but transformational, no? Designed to build leadership, strategic thinking, and systemic reform abilities, no? It prepares you, no, to take on rules where HR decisions shape policy implementation, organizational performance, and overall governance outcomes, no? So this description, course description, serve as a catalyst, no, for institutional transformation. Modern HR leader must navigate change. You need to inspire teams, refine system, and champion innovation. So through emphasizing sustainability in high-performing institution, this description set as a forward-looking vision. No? You will not only learn HR concept, but will be prepared to initiate reforms in your respective agencies. No? And this aligns with the mission of public administration to continuously elevate government performance and expand the impact of public service. Okay. So this slide, no, is one of the most important in your first meeting because it outlines the direction, expectation, and competency that every student must achieve by the end of the term. So this will be the course intended learning outcomes, serve as the roadmap, no, that guides all discussions, assignments, assessment, and learning activities. No? For graduate students, especially those in public administration, knowing these outcomes early helps you understand how your learning connects to real-world government challenges. It also establishes actually the accountability framework for both teaching and learning, ensuring a structured and meaningful academic experience. Ano pa? So one of the core outcomes emphasize the ability to apply advanced human resource theories, models, and strategic frameworks, no, within public sector context. So this is critical because human resource management in government operates under very different rules, no, compared to our private sector. Merit-based system, legal mandates, career service regulations, and ethical obligation. This learning outcomes ensures that you can integrate theory with practical realities, enabling you to make informed HR decisions that comply with civil service policies while still promoting innovation and organizational effectiveness. No? Another is the strategic human resource thinking. No? You are expected to move beyond administrative tasks and learn how HR influences mission alignment, workforce capability, institutional culture, and public service delivery. No? Strategic human resource management requires envision how staffing performance system learn programs in succession of the course student, be able to see HR an essential partner in governance, not just a support department, but a driver for of efficiency and reform. Another is the digital HR literacy. No? Preparing you for the realities of e-governance. Yan po yan. Another is ethical and value-based HR decision making. No? Public administrators often face situations where law, ethics, and organizational pressure intersect. No? So as a human resource practitioners must handle cases involve discipline, promotion, grievances, and conflict with fairness, and it must be impartiality. This learning outcome signals that the students will be trained to uphold meritocracy, no, protect employee rights, and resist political interference. It reinforces that public sector, no, HR, must always reflect integrity and professionalism as personal decisions impact public trust and institutional legitimacy. Another is demonstrate effective approaches to employee relationship, diversity management, conflict resolution, and ethical human resource practices. Now, critically examine compensation, structure, benefits, administration, and pay equity issues, in the public sector, no, ensuring compliance with laws, fiscal constraint, and principle of fairness. Apply leadership, coaching, and organizational development frameworks to strengthen human resource leadership competencies and promote a culture of innovation, integrity, and public service excellence. No, assess future trends, including digital transformation, AI-driven HR system, and evolving nature of public sector work, and formulate strategic responses that support sustainable citizen focus and future-ready public institution. Okay, so the slide continues that structured outline of the course, offering students a deeper appreciation of the various dimensions of advanced human resource management that you will encounter throughout the semester. So, it introduced the first slide, this slide actually, no, introduce the foundational and strategic themes, no, throughout the semesters, no. Begin to expand into the operational, development, developmental, and governance-related aspect of HR practice. So, I will assign already a person who will discuss, no, the assigned topic, 2 topic per presenter, no. So you must prepare separate requirements per topic. Okay. So, and one of the core topic, no, as what we have here is the HR planning in workforce, no. Because a team, no, or the HR planning in workforce forecasting, a team wherein it often overlooked, no, in many agencies, but essential for organizational continuity. Government offices, no, frequently struggle with the staffing shortages, no, aging workforces, no, and unclear manpower projection. This part, no, of the course teaches students to anticipate future staffing needs, no, analyze workforce demographics, and identify potential organizational risk. Understanding HR planning equips you to design workforce strategies that support long-term service delivery and adapt to emerging public sector demands. Now, another critical topic in this slide is job analysis and job design, which form the backbone of all HR function. Because in many government offices, job descriptions are outdated or misaligned with current rules. Now, through this topic, we will learn how to systematically identify job functions, the competencies, and the performance expectation. Job design principle also help us improve workflows, no, eliminate inefficiencies, and ensures that roles are structured in ways that maximize productivity and employee engagement. This knowledge becomes foundational for recruitment, evaluation, and training systems. No? This also covered compensation and benefits. No? Compensation and benefits management, a sensitive but important area in public administration. Government compensation systems are bound by laws, classification standards, and budget constraints, making them more rigid than private sector packages. We will explore how compensation influences motivation, retention, and fairness. Now, we will also examine how benefits, health programs, leave privileges, incentives, and allowances shape employee well-being and morale. No? So through understanding compensation policies, we can appreciate the challenges and opportunities and promoting equity while working within government structures. Ano pa? Another major component is employee relations and labor management dynamics. Public agencies must navigate union negotiation, employee grievances, workforce conflicts, and disciplinary processes. This topic equip us, with conflict resolutions skills, negotiation competencies, and a deep understanding of grievance mechanism. It emphasizes how HR leaders must balance organizational goals with employee rights, ensuring fairness, transparency, and compliance with labor laws and civil service guidelines. This prepare us to manage sensitive workplace issues with professionalism and integrity. Equally important is the focus on organizational development or OD. No? Public institution or government institution must continuously evolve to remain responsive to citizen needs. We will you will study OD frameworks that support change initiatives, culture building efforts, and instructional improvements. This topic also highlights how HR serves as a catalyst for organizational transformation, leading change management initiatives, facilitating learning environments, and aligning reforms with strategic goals. Through organizational development, the course help you view HR as an active driver of innovation rather than a passive support unit. Now, another component introduced in this slide is the performance coaching and employee engagement. While performance management set expectation, coaching nurtures employee growth and strengthens workplace relationship. No? Public administration often struggles with low engagement due to bureaucracy, limited recognition, and inadequate developmental support. This course teaches us or you how to apply coaching techniques that motivate employees, develop talent, and foster a culture of continuous improvement. Engagement strategies will also be explored to help HR leaders boost morale, reduce turnover, and strengthen institutional culture. The slide also includes the HR governance and policy formulation, a critical skill for future administrators. You will learn how HR policies are crafted, how they align with civil service mandates, and how they influence administrative behavior. You will also study the implication of poorly designed policies, sorry to say, such as inconsistency, inefficiency, or employee dissatisfaction. This prepare you to design HR policies that are clear, lawful, ethical, and supportive of institutional goals. This slide also, a compositions help students see the HRM is not fragmented. Each topic builds upon the other. No? Recruitment affects performance, job design affects engagement, compensation influences retention, and training supports succession planning. Governance, ethics, and technology in the course intersect across all areas. So by showing this interconnected structure early in the course, you help recognize that effective public sector HR leadership requires systems thinking. Now, advanced HRM is about understanding the whole institution, not just individual HR activities. Next topic, this slide actually represents the continuation of your comprehensive course outline, and it serves as an important bridge between foundational HR concept and more advanced institutional level HR strategies. You at this stage begin to see how diverse HR functions come together to form a coherent governance framework that influences organizational performance. Now, the topics include deepen your appreciation of HR as a strategic, ethical, and system practice. No? One that is essential for government effectiveness. This section of the course content signals that HR is not just about managing people. No? It is about designing systems that elevate public service. No? One of the principal themes in the slide is the HR analytics and data-driven decision-making. No? This is a modern competency that many public institutions lack, yet it is increasingly essential. You will learn how HR data such as attendance patterns, performance indicators, workforce demographics, and competency level can guide management decision. Analytics helps administrators identify staffing gaps, predict risk, improve retention strategies, and justify budget requests. So through mastering HR analytics, you gain the ability to shift HR practices from intuition-based to evidence-based, fostering a culture of informed governance. Another major component highlight is the digital HR systems and automation. As a public institution transition to e-governance, the human resource department must adapt to digital platforms for personnel records, no? Performance evaluation, recruitment processes, and employee tracking. No? You will explore human resource information systems, no? Electronic filing system, automated workflows, and AI-enabled tools. No? Understanding digital HR systems prepares you to handle cybersecurity concern, maintain data integrity, and promote transparency. This portion of the course ensures that you become future-ready HR leaders capable of navigating technology-driven environments. No? In this slide, no, also underscore the importance of ethics and accountability in human resource management. Yes. Public administrators often operate under intense scrutiny, and HR decisions are among the most sensitive because they directly affect people's career, welfare, and rights. Topic in this area include ethical hiring, fair discipline, anti-corruption mechanisms, conflict of interest policies, my God, and maintaining impartiality in personal information. You learn how to evaluate ethical dilemmas and make decisions anchored in integrity, legality, and professionalism. Qualities essential for preserving public trust and institutional credibility. Another significant area within this slide is public sector relation or public sector labor relations, no? which delves deeper into government union interaction than earlier employee relations topics. Now, public administration involves navigating collective bargaining agreements, union consultation, employee association, and conflict mediation processes. You will study real cases involving strikes, grievances, and negotiation deadlocks. No? This prepares you to engage in constructive social dialogue and promote a harmonious working environment, balancing employee needs with legal and organizational constraints. Ano pa? The slide moves to an advanced decision on organizational culture and change management. Public institutions frequently struggle with resistance to change, hierarchical cultures, and rigid processes. Now, this topic helps you understand how culture shapes employee behavior, decision-making, and service delivery. You will examine strategies for leading organizational reforms, overcoming resistance, and fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration. These skills are vital for HR leaders who aim to transform government agencies and align them with modern governance standards. It also introduces strategic talent management, which extend beyond a simple recruitment or training, because talent management involves identifying high potential employees, developing career pathways, and nurturing leaders who can sustain organizational performance. You learn how to design talent pipelines, creation, retention strategies, and support leadership development programs. This topic is especially relevant in government, where leadership continuity is crucial but often disrupted by political transition or administrative turnover. A further essential element in this slide is policy implementation and HR governance structure. No? You will explore how HR policies move from formulation to execution and how monitoring mechanisms ensure compliance. This includes understanding oversight bodies such as Civil Service Commission and internal governance offices. You will learn how good governance frameworks protect institutions from mismanagement, politicization, and inefficiencies. So, by mastering policy implementation, you gain the ability to strengthen accountability within your respective agencies. No? And lastly, in this slide, it emphasizes the integrative nature of all HR systems. While earlier slides introduce individual HR functions, this part of the course content shows how these functions must operate in synergy. For an HR strategy to succeed, recruitment must align with training, performance evaluation must link to compensation. Succession planning must depend on talent data, and culture must reinforce ethical values. This integrated perspective prepares students to think senior administrators leader capable of designing holistic HR systems rather than managing isolated tasks. Okay, so next topic, this slide continues the unfolding narrative of the course, no? Showcasing the breadth and depth of HRM topics that graduate students will encounter. At this point, you have already seen how foundational, strategic, and digital HR systems operate. Now, this slide now pushes into even more complex areas that requires higher order thinking skills, policy awareness, analytical skills, and leadership perspective. These topics represent the advanced competencies required of public administrators who must navigate not only personal processes but also political realities, organizational reforms, and governance challenges. One of the major themes in this slide is succession planning and leadership continuity. One of the, of course, which is a pressing issue in many public institutions. Government agencies often suffer from leadership vacuums, no? Sudden retirements or transitions tied to political cycles. And this topic teaches us how to identify high potential employees, create leadership, no? And pipelines, no? And institutional processes that ensure continuity of operations. So through mastering succession planning, you as future administrators will be able to navigate, or you will be able to mitigate disruptions. No? You will maintain organizational stability and preserve knowledge across generations of public servants. Another important component in this slide is competency mapping and career development frameworks. In the modern HR systems, competency-based approaches help agencies define the skills, behavior, and attributes required to each role. No? This topic trains you to develop competency standard, evaluate employee skills gaps, and build development programs that support career progression. Understanding competency framework is critical for implementing merit-based systems and ensuring that employees have clear and fair opportunities for growth. Key pillars of ethical governance. This slide also emphasizes training need assessment, or TNA, and capability building programs. Government agencies often conduct training without proper diagnosis, resulting in irrelevant, repetitive, or ineffective programs. You will learn how to analyze organizational needs, review performance gaps, and identify priority training areas. This topic strengthens your ability to design development programs that truly enhance workforce capability rather than satisfy compliance requirements. Sorry to say. TNA is a skill that transforms HR from a reactive department into a proactive strategic partner. Again, I just want to emphasize now that this is my own perspective, no? And hindi naman po lahat ng government agency the same. Meron naman talagang, let's say, civil service, napakaganda ng services nila, no? Isa yon. And marami pa naman pong government agencies na maganda yung services, okay? Sinasabi ko lang po dito na hindi naman lahat ng government agencies may lapses, okay? Baka mamaya, okay, another essential topic in this slide is performance-based budgeting and HR alignment, which illustrate how HR and financial system must work together. As government agencies adopt more accountability-based budgeting models, HR leaders must justify staffing levels, training budgets, and workforce improvements using measurable indicators. You will explore how HR data inform budget proposals, resource allocation, and operating planning. This strengthens your financial literacy and helps you understand how human resource contributes directly to organizational efficiency. This slide also brings attention to health, wellness, and employee well-being programs, which are increasingly recognized naman na as essential components of modern human resource management. I am a Philippine Quality Award assessor. No? I visited different government agency, national, no? And majority of them are, of course, having this health, wellness, and employee well-being programs. Diba? This topic encourage students to design programs that promote mental health, prevent burnout, ensures workplace as safety, and support overall well-being. Healthy employees translate to higher productivity, better public service delivery, and stronger institutional resilience. The inclusion of wellness in the course content reflects the holistic approach to HR leadership. Another advanced area covered in this course is change management in innovation leadership. Public institution often encounter resistance when implementing reforms because of long-standing processes, traditions, or hierarchical structures. Students will learn models of change, leadership strategies, communication techniques, and stakeholder engagement frameworks that support successful transition. And this topic equips you to champion innovation within your agencies and to implement reforms with sensitivity, strategy, and collaboration. The slide includes topic related to human resource risk management. Alam niyo naman po ang Pilipinas, di ba? Prone tayo sa mga So we need to look into this topic, because this involve identifying risks such as employee misconduct, compliance violation, data breaches, succession gaps, or low engagement. Students will explore how to create risk mitigation strategies, develop early warning indicators, and protect institutional integrity. HR risk management is critical in public administrator because failures in the personal system often lead to a larger governance failures. So, understanding this topic prepares you to anticipate problems before become crisis. This slide show that advanced human resource is not only about processes but about building systems that are resilient, ethical, innovative, and sustainable. The interconnected topics, competency mapping, succession planning, budgeting alignment, wellness, change management, and risk management prepare you to lead HR reforms comprehensively. Okay, so through exposing you to complex HR scenarios, this course affirms that this course will develop administrators who can design HR strategies that elevate both employee performance and overall organizational effectiveness. Next is this slide. This slide present another important segment of the course, expanding the conversation toward HR interaction with broader government or governance systems, institutional mandates, and socio-political realities. At this stage, students begin to understand that HR in the public sector is not just an internal function, it is a governance mechanism with direct influence on transparency, public accountability, and citizen trust. So the topics featured in this slide ensure that students develop the ability to navigate HR challenges that require not only managerial skills but also policy awareness, ethical judgment, and system thinking. One of the themes introduced in this slide is human resource legal foundation. This topic is essential because public sector HRM is governed by law, civil service rules, administrative codes, and constitutional principles. HR professionals in government cannot make decisions solely based on preference or organizational culture. They must operate within legal boundaries. So as a student, you will explore jurisprudence, CSC policies, administrative due process, equal opportunity principles, and compliance obligations. This topic prepares you to avoid legal violations, ensures fairness, and protect both employees and the institution. Another core topic actually in this slide is policy development and human resource governance. Creating HR policies in the public sector requires balancing legality, practicality, and ethics. So you will learn how to draft policies that are clear, implementable, and aligned with institutional goals. And it will also examine how poorly designed policies lead to confusion, inefficiencies, or inequities. So through gaining skills in policy development, you will be able to strengthen HR governance structures, promote consistency, and institutional reforms. In this slide also highlight workplace ethics, discipline, and accountability system. So HR leaders often face disciplinary issues, no misconduct, absenteeism, uh, negligence, and violations of administrative rules. No, you will learn how to apply due process, conduct investigation, interpret evidence, and impose penalties appropriately. Beyond procedures, you will analyze ethical dilemmas that arises in real government setting. This topic helps future administrators understand that accountability is not about punishment, but about preserving institutional integrity and promoting ethical culture. Another major component is employee engagement and motivation in the public sector. Many government employees feel unseen, undervalued, or disengaged because their work environment does not always encourage creativity or recognize excellence. So this portion teaches you how to design engagement strategies that boost morale, encourage innovation, and promote a sense of purpose. Public sector motivation differs from private sector incentives. So students must learn to work with intrinsic motivators such as job significance, teamwork, and community impact. This slide also introduces workforce diversity and inclusion, a theme becoming increasingly important in modern HRM. Public institutions serve diverse populations, and their workforce must reflect inclusivity, fairness, and non-discrimination. You will study how to manage gender equality, age diversity, differently abled employees, and multicultural workflows. Now, you will examine how inclusive HR policies improve institutional culture, decision-making, and service relevance. Because this topic prepares you to become leaders who uphold equity and respect in the workplace. Another sophisticated topic presented here is the public service values and organizational culture development. HR leaders shape culture through hiring practices, policy choices, leadership styles, and performance system. You will explore how culture affects behavior, decision-making, and service delivery. You will learn strategies to cultivate cultures of integrity, collaboration, innovation, and citizen-centeredness. Now, understanding culture development is critical because strong cultures produce resilient and high-performing institutions, even amidst political or administrative challenges. Another is the feature of workplace health, safety, and crisis preparedness. No? The government agency must ensure employee safety not only during crises like pandemic, disaster, or security threats, but also in daily operation. You will learn about occupational safety standards, psychosocial risk management, crisis communication, and emergency HR protocols. This topic actually ties HRM to crisis governance, showing how personnel systems support continuity of operations and protect frontline workers. Of course, it is also included strategic HR partnership and interagency collaboration. Natutuwa ako ngayon, di ba? Yung sa Pilipinas, yung interagency collaboration nangyayari na. So government agencies often work in silos, and HR reforms required collaboration across department. You will explore how to build partnership with finance units, planning offices, civil service bodies, and local government units. And this partnership helps streamline HR processes, improve cross-agency mobility, and ensure system-wide coherence and public service delivery. This teaches you how to lead beyond your department and influence wider institutional reform. This slide also reinforces that the idea that HRM is not merely a department but a governance function. So through exposing you to legal frameworks, ethics, diversity, accountability, engagement, and collaboration, it underscores a central lesson. Public sector HR leadership shape the culture, direction, and integrity of entire institution. The topics remind us that the HR decisions they make will echo across communities, impacting not only employees but also citizens who depend on effective public service. This prepares you for the responsibility you will carry as future public administrator. This slide continues the comprehensive overview of the course topics and bring you into the more specialized, technical, and governance-focused dimension of human resource management in the public sector. No? At this stage, the course content expands beyond operational HR functions and dives into institutional strategy, national HR frameworks, interagency alignment, and at the emerging challenges that modern government institutions must navigate. This portion actually of the course outlines how public administrators can move from managing personnel to shaping workforce policies that influence entire system of governance. One of the major components in this slide is national human resource frameworks and standards, which help you understand how HR is governed at the macro level. Public administration operates within national policies such as Civil Service Commission standards, government-wide competency frameworks, and administrative regulation. This topic allows you to see how HR policies are harmonized across agencies and how national frameworks guide recruitment, promotion, training, and performance management. Understanding national HR, structure equips public administrator to align institutional system with broader public sector reforms. Another key topic is interagency human resource coordination and alignment, which addresses the reality that no government agency operates in isolation. HR issues involving mobility, secondments, plantilla allocations, joint programs, and national initiatives require coordination across departments. You will explore how HR collaborates with budgeting offices, planning units, oversight bodies, and central agency to implement personnel strategies effectively. So this portion teaches you that effective HR leadership involves working beyond organizational boundaries to support unified government goals. This slide also highlights public sector innovation and future-proofing HR systems. Forward-thinking themes that prepares you for emerging workforce challenges. Government agency must continually adapt to technological advancement, evolving citizen expectation, disruptive crisis, and demographic shift. Now, you will examine models of innovation. You will learn how to create an agile HR processes and explore future trends such as AI integration, remote work governance, and digital public service model. This topic encourages you to become proactive innovators rather than reactive administrator. Another significant area covered here is the HRM evaluation and impact assessment. Filipino people are very good in planning, but maybe there's some problem or concerns in monitoring and evaluations. Many agencies implement policies without determining whether this result is in actual performance improvements or behavioral changes. Through this topic, you will learn how to evaluate HR intervention using qualitative and quantitative indicators, assess organizational impacts, and justify reform based on evidence. And this strengthens your capability and ability to create HR strategies that are measurable, accountable, and systematically improved over time. This slide also further includes strategic communication in HR leadership, which is essential in the practice of public administration. HR reforms often fail due to poor communication, misconception, or lack of stakeholders buy-in. You will learn how to craft messages, communicate policy changes, manage sensitive conversation, and engage both internal and external stakeholders. Strong communication skills empower HR leaders to influence organizational culture, resolve conflicts, and guide teams through transitional periods with clarity and empathy. Another advanced topic in this slide is the public accountability and transparency in human resource management. Since public institutions serve citizens, HR system must uphold fairness, openness, and ethical conduct. And this topic examines transparency tools, publication requirements, public reporting obligations, and accountability mechanisms that ensure human resource decisions are free from favoritism or political interference. Students will appreciate how transparency builds trust and how HR processes can become catalyst for credible and corruption-resistant governance. No? This is also this slide also introduced crisis HR management and government continuity planning. No, a highly relevant topic in today's uncertain environment. From pandemics to natural disasters to cyber attacks, public institutions must be prepared to maintain operation despite disruption. The students will study. Wait lang. Okay, wait lang. Okay, later. I will entertain all your ano. Okay, so again, crisis HR management and governance continuity planning. No? Highly relevant topics in today's uncertain environment. From pandemic to natural, as I mentioned, you will study HR protocols during emergencies, understand workforce safety measures, and syempre, examine continuity strategies that ensure uninterrupted public services. This prepare future administrator to make critical HR decisions when institutions are under pressure. The slide emphasizes workforce inclusivity and accessibility standards. Ano pa? Aligning HR practices with modern principle of equality and universal access. Public institutions must serve diverse communities and provide equitable opportunities to all employees, include those with disabilities, minority groups, older workers, and marginalized population. You will explore how inclusive HR system improve both employee experiences and service effectiveness. This topic actually builds your capacity to design workflows, workplaces grounded in fairness, dignity, and respect. This slide reinforced the course message that HR and public administration is a strategic governance function, not a clerical task. Now, students begin to see HR as a both a policy instrument and a leadership responsibility. So through learning about national frameworks, interagency dynamics, accountability mechanism, and crisis strategies, you gain the holistic perspective necessary to approach human resource management with sophistication and systemic understanding actually. And this prepare you to assume leadership roles that require balancing institutional needs, employee welfare, and accountability. Okay. So this will okay, this will be the textbook, no? Advanced Human Resource Management for Private and Government Institution. So the additional textbook, no, for your references. So because I always encourage my student to use not only one book, but try to look to 3 to 5 textbook and journals at the same time and website during your the preparation of your narrative report and your presentation. No, do not only focus in one textbook. No, so at least 3 to 5 textbook plus website plus journals, no, for you to be more for us to have more inputs, no, based on the given topics, no, no po. Then okay, so in these extraordinary times, our learning environment is still constantly changing. Hence, we also adapt to the demands and to the challenges of the time. So of course, again, this slide, no, establishes the expectation that define the learning culture of your MPA 206 class. No? So by presenting this expectation early, you create an environment of clarity, no, discipline, and mutual respect. No? Qualities essential for graduate level education. And the slide communicates that learning is in this course is not passive. No? It requires active participation, no, intellectual engagement, and commitment to excellence. It also emphasized that the students are not merely attendees but collaborators in creating a meaningful academic experience. Now, one of the first expectation highlighted in the importance of adaptability in extraordinary times. You as the public servant, no, has shifted dramatically, no, to the technological disruption, pandemic institutional reforms, and the evolving learning modalities. So that's why the expectation mirrors real public administration work where adoption is part of the leadership. No? Another core expectation of the slide is consistent compliance with the course requirements. Ano po? Attendance and participation, especially in the online learning format, no, with virtual classes, provide flexibility, syempre, no? Because many activities in the course are asynchronous, it emphasizes the need for self-management. No? You as graduate student must take ownership of your learning by reviewing materials independently, participating in online classes, and staying updated with class announcement. And stay aligned with the schedule activities and consultation po. Ano po? Take responsibility for keeping up when you miss session. And another important expectation is the cultivation of professional etiquette and respect with the learning community. No, you must engage thoughtfully in discussions, acknowledge diverse perspectives, submit original work, and avoid academic dishonesty. Respect for the learning environment extends to timely communication, ethical behavior, and professionalism in all interaction, because this align with the values of public service, integrity, objectivity, and respect for others. Again, reminder, right now, student po kayo, hindi po kayo ngayon boss sa inyong organization. Ano pa? Respect your classmate at the same time. Ano pa? Embrace curiosity and deep in learning. Ano pa? So it establishes, no, a partnership between you and between you at, of course, as your professor and with your classmate. No? The expectations are not meant to intimidate but to uplift. You remind as a student that the course is designed to support your growth as HR professional and public servants. So through setting this expectation clearly, you affirm your commitment to helping you develop, no, the discipline, competence, and leadership mindset needed to excel in your careers. No, it reinforces that learning is a shared responsibility, or is a shared responsibility, one that flourishes when both professor and students uphold the same standard of excellence. Okay, so essential materials you need to strive in MPA 206. No? Its purpose goes beyond simply listing items. It set the tone for preparedness, organization, and commitment to academic excellence. No? Okay, so this slide serves as the emotional and intellectual culmination of your course orientation. It is more than a closing slide. It is a welcome message that set the tone for the entire semester. Here is your moment to connect between your di ba? Okay, so this will be the requirements, no? Pre-recorded video presentation, mark as your prelim exam, the case study, midterm exam, narrative report, individual presentation, quizzes, and final exam. So our next meeting is on ano pa? December 20. So before December 20, you need to submit your pre-recorded video presentation. Okay? Before December 20. Okay? Submission of your pre-recorded video presentation. I will assign already, no, your topic. No? So later, yung mga wala pa po, bibigyan po natin. Okay? Then we have midterm exam, narrative report. I will give you an example at the same time, your individual presentation. During the presentation, if you have some questions, kindly post in our chat box, especially in the Google, in the Zoom, or maybe class in, no, in the next session, class in chat box. Then after the presenter, after the presentation of the presenter, he will address all your queries. No? If you have additional inputs, ganun din po, post in at our chat box. Okay? Okay, so so the major exam is 30%, class standing, actual presentation 30%, case studies 15%, pre-video presentation 15%, attendance is 10%. So add lang po yung preliminary and finals, then divide 3. Okay? Ito po yung equivalent po natin para aware po kayo. Kapag ang ratio po ay 85 and below, 5 na po yung sa graduate school. Okay? So second semester nyo naman pala to, so aware na kayo dito. Okay? For those who are eyeing for an honor, ayan po yung ating criteria. Okay? So, again, as I mentioned earlier, no, it is more than a closing slide. It is a welcome message that set the tone for the entire semester. You create a moment of connection between you and your classmate, and to me, of course, reminding that MPA 2006, MPA 206 is not just another requirement, but a transformative journey into becoming more capable, ethical, and strategic public administrator. No? Through expressing gratitude and welcome you warmly, you establish a learning environment built on respect, collaboration, and shared purpose. No? One of the most important now is for you to learn a theory and of course actual. No? Actual based on your respective agencies dapat.